When David Bennett took over San Diego Opera in 2015, he introduced a program called Detour, which was meant to showcase everything that was not grand opera.
If you think of the word of a detour is, along the same direction, but maybe a different path, right? Getting you to the same place, but a different path.
This program has led audiences to innovative productions of chamber operas, contemporary operas, and operas from other cultures. But now, perhaps, grand opera is ready for a detour as well.
That's actually a very good metaphor, right? We actually have thought about that, and we've talked about it. We said, why don't we think about applying some of the learning that we've taken from Detour and see if we can put a little bit of that on main stage.
To kick off the new opera season, Bennett is doing precisely that with a scaled-back version of the Verdi favorite, Aida. Earlier this week, set pieces from a more traditional Aida were being repurposed by technical director Tim Wallace for the current and very different-looking production now.
We're ever evolving and adapting into who we are, and something fresh and something new that our audience hasn't seen. This is definitely like the jumping off point for that on the main stage.
As general director for San Diego Opera, Bennett has to not only decide on programming choices, but also keep an eye on the budget. When programming this new season, he was looking for cost-efficient ways to stage an epic opera like Aida, which the company had produced in 2013 in opulent splendor. But the necessity of financial concerns can be turned into creative solutions driven by an artistic vision.
Just in the way that it's played, the orchestra is going to be on stage and the singers are all downstage on the thrust, as opposed to being in the middle of the stage. If anybody's ever been to see the symphony live, that's a spectacle. We're putting it all together, but all in full view.
That means fewer expensive and massive set pieces and no live animals, says tenor Carl Tanner.
I did the world's largest production of Aida with elephants and snakes and camels, etc. And I've done scaled down versions of Aida. It's all about the music.
I think it draws attention to the beautiful writing of Verdi across the board. So Verdi actually made a comment right before he composed Aida of a new idea about composing operas that's with sort of intention across all musical spectrum, of actually honoring the orchestra in the same way as he honors singers. And I think we're doing that with this production.
Audiences will clearly see the musicians, the chorus, and the singers all on stage. At times, Tanner will be a mere few feet away from the front row.
For the people right down front, they're going to feel a little overwhelmed with the sound, maybe from the artist, maybe from the soloist. But I feed off the audience energy. When they're excited, I'm excited.
And that excitement helps when you have to sing an aria almost as soon as you enter the stage.
It's one of the hardest tenor arias written. I would love to ask Verdi, how about just 10 minutes later, what were you thinking? Maybe 10 minutes later in the act. That's what makes it challenging, is because you don't know how much you should warm up, how much you should not warm up, and then you get out on stage and you have to pace yourself. It's a pacing thing with this whole opera and the tenor.
It may not be the epic production people are used to, but for a technical director, there are still a lot of moving parts.
There are moving parts to this. Drops fly in and out, some scenery comes flying in, some scenery moves across the stage. It's not just a concert version of anything, it's still very much a theatrical experience.
But an experience that may allow audiences to hear Verdi in a new and more intimate way, without any elephants to distract them. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.